knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than they who produce them, for these only gave them life, those the art of living well. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living differ from the dead. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. It is not enough to win a war, it is more important to organize the peace. The high-minded man must care more for the truth than for what people think. To write well, express yourself like the common people, but think like a wise man. One swallow does not make a summer, neither does one fine day. Similarly, one day or brief time of happiness does not make a person entirely happy. All human actions have one or more of these 7 causes: chance, nature, compulsions, habit, reason, passion, desire. At his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst. Character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. Comedy aims at representing men as worse, tragedy as better than in actual life. Criticism is something we can avoid easily by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. Democracy is when the indigent, and not the men of property, are the rulers. Even when laws have been written down, they ought not always to remain unaltered. Friends hold a mirror up to each other. Through that mirror they can see each other in ways that would not otherwise be accessible to them, and it is this mirroring that helps them improve themselves as persons. I have gained this by philosophy, that I do without being commanded what others do only from fear of the law. It is easy to perform a good action, but not easy to acquire a settled habit of performing such actions. It is possible to fail in many ways, while to succeed is possible only in one way. Men create gods after their own image, not only with regard to their form but with regard to their mode of life. No one would choose a friendless existence on condition of having all the other things in the world. Perfect friendship is the friendship of men who are good, and alike in excellence, for these wish well alike to each other qua good, and they are good in themselves. Poetry is finer and more philosophical than history, for poetry expresses the universal, and history only the particular. Teenagers these days are out of control. They eat like pigs, they are disrespectful of adults, they interrupt and contradict their parents, and they terrorize their teachers. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. The beauty of the soul shines out when a man bears with composure one heavy mischance after another, not because he does not feel them, but because he is a man of high and heroic temper. The greatest thing by far is to be a master of metaphor. It is the one thing that cannot be learned from others, and it is also a sign of genius, since a good metaphor implies an intuitive perception of the similarity of the dissimilar. The happy life is regarded as a life in conformity with virtue. It is a life which involves effort and is not spent in amusement. You will never do anything in the world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. Why is it that all those who have become eminent in philosophy, politics, poetry, or the arts are clearly of an atrabilious temperament, and some of them to such an extent as to be affected by diseases caused by black bile? We praise a man who feels angry on the right grounds and against the right persons, and also in the right manner at the right moment and for the right length of time. We live in deeds, not years, in thoughts, not breaths, in feelings, not in figures on a dial. We should count time by heart throbs. He most lives who thinks most, feels the noblest, acts the best. To write well, express yourself like common people, but think like a wise man. Or, think as wise men do, but speak as the common people do.